and maybe now we can take some of the questions that you have.
Yes, David. So thanks, guys. So I think we got a few questions on the floor that has come through the chat. So I'll just go one by one. Before that, David, I just have a question that was raised to me before the event. In a nutshell, so say you compute the taxations and so on. What if you make an error? Can you rectify it, and what are the repercussions of that?
That's a very good question. So in our system here, if I can share my screen again, you can actually file a amendment. You're allowed to file one amendment. The system will allow you to then create another so-called amendment to file. Just a moment. Let me show it to you. You see this on the revision?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So over here, after filing, right, you have a choice to do a revision filing. If you feel that the amount that's charged is wrong, you revise the filing. The system will give you a new Form CS again. So this is a previous filing. You objected, right? And you can do a revised filing again. Okay? Yeah. There you go. So the system allows you to revise, but then again, IRAs, right? They may have try to just take note when you want to do a revised filing, you need to object to NOA. You got exactly 30 days from the time you get the notice assessment from IRA. So today, IRAs, the notice assessments are actually emailed to you to say that there's a notice been issued, but you got to log into IRAs to check. If you don't check after 30 days, right, that's basically confirmed. You have to pay it no matter what you object or not. You have to pay that one first. Okay, so take note that this one here is not automated. You have to log into IRAS. We wish the IRAS can give us API to push the information here. I did make the request, but today I think it's not yet available. I'm not sure whether to make it available.
Okay, that's great, David. And also in terms of a compliance perspective, so one document, I think this was sent to me by presumably a COPSEC. Do you guys do the annual report, which is compliant with the IFRS and tax standards as well? How can we go about the process when we submit to ACRA?
Okay, so today I didn't cover the annual report, but the answer is yes, we do. If you just don't mind, we deviate a bit, but annual report we cover under the report made over here. So if you can click the annual report here, and you can select, let's say, a new annual report, right? General annual report. Select the financial period. So let's say 2023. So these are all the previous reports I have. It's all draft. But now you want to create a new one, generate report here. So this will create a report according to international financial reporting standards, right?
Okay.
And you
it's
can
be unaudited, I guess.
Yes, it is be unaudited. Unaudited reports, you need to engage an auditor to give an opinion to the report you created. But being in Singapore, companies now are, if you're considered, exempt from preparing report, then basically if you have less than 10 million assets, 10 million of sales, and less than 50 employees, you meet one of these requirements. And second one, you don't have a corporate shareholder, right? You're exempt. You are able to prepare an annual report unaudited. Okay. So over here, put your director's name. Let's say my name is the director, right? Okay, I'm appointed, let's say back in 2003, let's say in January. I have maybe 10,000 shares at the beginning and maybe 20,000 shares. Maybe, for example, I'm a signing director, add. Maybe I add Vidu, you are the next director. Okay, and you're appointed maybe a bit earlier, and you have maybe 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares, for example, the signing director. Okay, and there might be other directors here, let's say Fahod, right, and then the shareholder. Okay, and authorization date. Let's say this is authorization in, let's say, August, 31st August, right? This is your P&L format. You can choose nature of function. Okay, and this is optional. If you have bank guarantee, then you need to disclose it. If you don't have, then you can leave it blank. So just generate report. It takes some time, about 20 seconds, 30 seconds to generate the report. Here you go. This is your annual report, right? So here you have your debtor statement, okay? Debtor's interest, the signing page. Here you have your P&L, your balance sheet, your equity changes, right? And then this will be your general information and notes to accounts. So the system will generate all this.
Yeah. This is compliant enough to submit to ACRA, is it?
ACRA and IRAS, both.
Okay, fantastic.
If IRAS asks for it, yeah,
huge lifesaver. And also to move into the question, I think raised by Ahmed initially, I think we're going back to square one. So what if you expect to not have a profit and then end up with a small profit that is taxable due to adjusting entries passed by auditors? Is there a penalty for not filing ECI?
That's a very good question. I suppose ECI is 3 months after the financial year end, right? And if you have a loss or chargeable, not your negative chargeable income is you don't have anything profit, you don't have file ECI, right? And subsequently, the auditor audit and then the actual thing comes in with the profit, then you can go back to ECI and then file ECI. You know, I don't think IRAS will penalize you. You know, they may question you why, and if you've got valid reasons that before the audit you have losses, you didn't file, and after the audit, you know, that you filed, you're the honest taxpayer, I don't think they'll penalize you. Okay, you're not trying to cheat, so it's quite a common issue. You can actually go to file ECI after the audit. Okay.
That's great, David. So in terms of Dave has actually sent across 4 questions. So I think as David mentioned that we don't have integration to Xero as yet. And I think I'll just take the last question because since we don't have any integrations, the first 3 questions
I would like to answer the question to Dave. You don't mind ask because we do have intention to over the next 3 months provide a module for, I believe integration will be report and tax, right? Or is it for document? Because this has been raised by a few people before. If I use Xero, how can I prepare my report and tax? Is that the same question that Dave raised?
Yes, to an extent, covering a lot of topics like invoice and receipts, covering Form C, Form 8, etc.
Okay, so for respect to the report and tax, we are building a standalone module that can be integrated, or rather, we can allow people to upload the trial balances and the GLs from any software system, classify those transactions to our codes, and then prepare the report and tax. However, please note that because these other systems that not automate, right, there are so-called information lapses or shortage of informations. Like, for example, in some of those softwares, they do not have asset schedules. They do not have liability schedules. Hence, they're not able to produce the entire, they're not able to automate the annual report and corporate tax 100%. In those cases, right, we would then maybe automate 60, 70%, and 30%, 40%, it's manual input because the information is not in your trial balance. Okay, so we are working on that part. When we will announce it to the community that we have a solution for report and tax generator using partial data from Xero, QuickBooks, Zoho, any accounting software, Excel. As for direct integration and pullout, we are working with some partners integrator to that can, but with your permission, allow information to be synced out directly to our software. Okay, so this is something that we are in our product roadmap going forward this year.
That's right. And also, David, you as I would say, a futuristic founder, how do you compare Documate to HubDocs and Receipt Bank?
We are better. Sorry to be so directly, but I've tried it out, and not just me, people have tried it out. Okay, I will say that what I understand is that we go into detail. We're not just using OCR. We're going to detail visioning. And the system actually reads the document, picks out facts, the data, and classify a transaction for bills. So that's done a bit more higher in terms of technology, so they can do auto accounting. We also built in the auto accrual system into the bills so that you can extract out and do the adjustments in Automate. But besides these documents like bills, okay, and bank statements, which those softwares can do, we also are able to cater to things like finance lease. Okay, by finance lease, if you buy a car and you have take a loan on the car through a financing agreement, okay, you have something like that. These are agreements for finance lease. We put it into document. Document can extract out the details accordingly to the finance lease, and this data is being pushed into Automate, and Automate can give you basically do the accounting for even for those finance lease, something like that. So this technology is not available, I think, most in the world. Actually, this is probably one of the first few technologies we have. So we have done a bit more than just data extraction. Okay, we also gone into other accounting systems like funding, loans, rental agreements that you can extract it out and push it in accounting software and help you to do things like this. This is your finance lease. It does all your amortization. It does all your payment. You just need to pay. So we went a bit further. Moreover, Document is also an e-document management system. It's not just a data extraction system, right? You can actually create a department, create multiple users here, create folder systems, designate folder system to be under department, designated users to a department. So only users of a department can see documents in that folders, right? So it's meant to help SMEs digitize at a very affordable price. So Document, don't mind the pricing later on, we can introduce. We are not here, we want to bring technology to be so-called democratized. Everybody can have affordable to these systems. We don't charge a few $100. In fact, we charge maybe per user is affordable $5 and per scan is about 15 cents, right? So hopefully this one can be made available to all micro companies and SMEs.
That's great. So Lasinda actually is asking David now, say, what if these bills are in multiple currencies, right? How would you actually treat this in your system, and would you by any chance use the spot rate?
In terms of the first question is bills in multiple currencies, right? Bills, if I'm not wrong. So Document is multi-currency compliant. You can take in and recognize your bills in different currencies. But normally one bill is one currency, right? You don't have one bill with multi-currency per bill. Normally it's one bill, one currency. So what I mean to say that you have various bills of different currencies, the system will extract the currency accordingly. So like, for example, Document here, you have a bill. Okay, and I try to see here. Like here. This is the currency here, right? So over here, the bill will pick up the currency of the bill and reflect currency here. And when this multi-currency bill is synced into Automate, Automate also recognizes this original bill as a euro bill, but it will translate based on the exchange rate from MAS on this date of the bill to the functional currency. Most functional currency in Singapore are Sing dollars or US dollars. So you will translate it for booking purposes to your recording currency, right? And this is very important because once you have a bill in Automate, you have to make payments of these bills, right? So we also have reports here that says, like, for example, accounts payable details. Right? Here would summarize the summary of all the multi-currency bills. Okay, you would then summarize it. You will then translate into your functional currency, and you list each of your so-called your suppliers, as well as the different type of bills and currencies, individual bills for each supplier.
Okay, that's great, David. So Daryl actually is asking, is there a way for non-accountants to know that the accounts are closed properly prior to filings?
That's a very good question, Daryl. In fact, we have gotten some feedback from accountants. We're working on a checklist. The checklist basically is called accounting closing checklist. all right, which is we hope that we can launch it out soon. But this is also a product roadmap. Like for example, a month or quarterly or yearly, somebody else can go through the checklist according to the elements in your report, and literally just put yes done. Who's the person who say yes done and be responsible for it? So this was a suggestion from some of the accounting managers that we met. They want to have this checklist and put someone accountable. It may be accountant, not accountant, but someone's doing some checks. So the checklist that we created is about maybe 30 pages long. But so we are working on it. How do we then customize the checklist based on the elements in your financial report or your P&L balance sheet? We only check those things. The checklist only appears when you have elements relevant to your accounts. Like for example, this is your balance sheet. Okay. For example, you have element called cash here, right? So you have a checklist for cash will come out. Somebody need to run through and check. Have we done reconciliation? Have we done revaluation? Like an auditor's checklist, something like that. We call it a accounts checklist. If you don't have cash, then basically you don't have to go and do the checklist. Yeah. Okay, so that is something to be done over here. Probably is a accountant checklist over here, one of the tabs, but it's not been created yet. Thanks, Daryl, for that question. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So Garg is actually asking, David, do you have the option to lock accounts on an earlier date?
I don't quite get the question. To lock the accounts on earlier date.
It's not clear to me as well. Garg, if you are online, I can give you a chance to actually ask it directly from David.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, hello.
I'm Sveta here. Actually, my question is our financial year is closed. Then can we lock the account dates so that we cannot make changes in next year?
Oh, that's a very good question. Are you an accountant?
Yes.
Okay. So the answer is over here. There's a financial year, right? This thing here, this is where we prepare to lock. But we feel that our UI UX needs to improve because I want to put the name of the person who locked it before we launch it, right? So yes, we have that intention to put this locking device here, but somebody would then be responsible for locking. So if you lock it, right, if someone wants to go backwards and enter something here, we will block the transactions. So I suppose we're looking at the developing the interfaces. How do you communicate to the person in charge to say that, hey, this, video wants to make a change? Shweta, can you check with him and approve him? If you approve, then you need to come here to unlock it so that he can enter it and you lock it back. So it's more now, not so much whether we can. I know it can, but I'm more concerned about the communication in our system between each parties, because we find that most accounting softwares may not have a communication tool, right? We want to put a communication tool somewhere here, and that's something that once we have it, then we can provide this the feature, enhance the feature. So the answer is yes. It's been our roadmap to release this feature.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
David, the other question raised by actually Dave has, I think, a lot of questions. Maybe we can have a chat with you, Dave, afterwards as well. But I'll just quickly take up these two questions. How long will these bills, invoices, receipts be kept on Automate on the cloud? And is it tagged per transaction basis?
The answer is how long can you keep the document? Basically, you pay the monthly subscription. Yes, you can keep it as long as there. The more you don't pay a month subscription, after 1 month, 3 months, if you don't pay, then we have to close off the system and it'll be deleted. Because we are paying AWS, the fee that we charge our customers is very affordable, but the storage cost in AWS is packed very closely. So if after 3 months, if you do not pay, unfortunately, you have to terminate that document count. As for the second questions, are the transaction documents linked to the accounting records? The answer is yes. In fact, one copy of the document is kept in Documate. And for example, a bill here, for example, if a bill purchase here, what you see in Documate over here is what we loaded just now. You see, it's also loaded here concurrently. So you can see the copy in both Automate, and you can basically, this one is linked to Automate. If you go to Document today, right? You see here, Document has a view on Automate. If you click on this, you open the page where this document is synced into Automate here. This makes it easier for you to, for internal audit purposes or even external audit purposes, to trace to your documents in Documate.
Okay, that's great. And then to close off, can we export this data and both the attached invoices, receipts, I mean, any documents that was previously uploaded?
The answer is that in Document, you can definitely download, but this is a private communication to us. Then we will have to find a way to give you in either a drop file or a thumb drive, okay, not CD. But if you take it out from Document, right, you lose the link into Automate. If you don't subscribe, we can't give you the link, because Automate is a accounting system with a link to Document, and if you take it from Document, then basically you lose that link, right? Yeah.
Yes, and also, David, so one of the biggest issues you get in businesses is the chances of fraud or sabotage happening. So how has Automate taken precautionary measures to protect the business owners or any founder of any business of any form of foul play?
Okay, we have created Operate here. Operate basically is a bill payment system. So in this case here, there is an Operate here, there's an issue order here, right? You can issue orders for the bills and get someone to approve it. And when bills are received, over here, for example, you can actually have a pending check. Somebody must review the bill and check the bill. For example, the name will be recorded. For example, in this case here, this is a summary bill here, right? If we want to check the bill, we click here. You can come to here, review details. There's a approval process here. You can check the bill. You see, you can check the bill, the name must be here. Somebody else can approve the bill for payment. There's a date there. Approve the bill, the name will be there. So if there's any bill that's paid and there's no name, for example, right, then you find who is the one who paid the bill. The name will be here. Okay, because to record the payment, there is a so-called a operation flow which we created under this whole process called Operate. Okay, so Operate is actually for operation purposes. There is a checking flow, there's approval flow, and also making a payment flow, right? So hopefully this will be try to stem some kind of fraud in the system. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, that's great. So one last question. I know there are several questions that has come my way, but I think we're running out of time. So I'll just take the last question, actually, what Lasanda has actually sent across. Can the system identify duplicates of the same bill that was previously uploaded?
The answer is yes. In Document, right? For example, if you I upload this bill just now, okay? Let's go upload the sales bill again. The system will come out with a duplicate. So this document was uploaded just now. Let's upload it again. You see, duplicate document. Okay, the system will identify a document loaded twice. Now, upon seeing this duplicate document, you can choose to delete this document, or you can choose to push it forward. So end of the day, duplicate documents, we leave users to have a choice. You can click on this. For example, this existing document, this is a duplicate document. So as a user, you would then have to then click to remove the document. All right, there's a name here who uploaded the document and what date and time, right? Or rather the date of the which date is been uploaded. So there's a tracking device here, and if you want to remove this document, click remove. That's it. Then you don't have the document anymore. All right. So this is how we track the duplicate documents at the document section.
Okay, that's great, David. So I'm afraid we have run out of time. So I first thank David actually for coming today and presenting this topic, and also it's an excellent demo of your platform that you built. And if there's any further questions from the audience, feel free to email me. We will also give you all a special discount for actually for participating in this session. For if you want to use Automate in the future, we are happy to discuss further over a meeting or over a coffee, etc. So thank you very much, guys. So it was a pleasure having you. Have a great day, and we look forward to having your presence at our future events.